Hey, what is up everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with a basic crash course build for new or returning players that do not have a full classified set. Now, you might be thinking it's kind of late in the game to be doing a beginner's build, I guess, but really in the last couple of weeks I've heard so many people either in the comments or in gameplay saying that they just came back to the game or they actually just bought the game at GameStop for like $8 and are just trying to get ready for the Division 2 and just wondering what works good to, try to get a foothold so that they could grind out for that better gear. So if you are a veteran for the game, this might not be the best video for you, but hey, maybe you'll stick around and add some of your knowledge down there in the comment section for some of these new players. So let's get into some gameplay and see how this works, and as always, if you enjoy or find these videos helpful, definitely smash that like button, subscribe for future content. If you are new to the channel, make sure you got that notification bell on, and go ahead and drop a comment down there, like I said, helping out any of these new players. So let's get into it. Alright everyone, so here we go. Now, if you are a new or returning player, specifically if you are a new player, you are going to have to get used to playing Lexington Event Center and playing it a lot, because during the global events that give you the caches, that give you the classified gear that you're trying to get, this is by far the easiest thing to farm. You can do it in about 5 to 10 minutes or so, depending on how good your team is. And it's a really good payout for the time that you put in. You could always ask somebody if you have any kind of veterans on your friend list. Ask them to take you through Clear Sky. You get a little bit more of a payout for it, and you can usually do it in about the same amount of time if you have a good team. But that might be a little bit later on down the road. If you're just a new player, I would say stick to Lexington and just farm this, because you get the good payout and you get the chance to get the Barrett Bulletproof Vest. So both of those things are definitely good for somebody that just started out. So either way, I'm going to get in here and we'll see what we can do. I'm going to talk through this and kind of just give you a couple little tips and tricks that I do, and hopefully you find it helpful. So let's get in here and do this. Alright, so first things first, what I like to do is kind of come over here to the side. You can always flank them on that side over by the vans, which I'll probably end up doing in a second here, but basically I like to get right up close here and just kind of take this guy out right here. Just drop him right there. He was a grenader, so that's excellent. This guy's going to try to flank you. Try not to let him. If he does, no big deal. 2 for 1. And you can see it works pretty good. That helped on a kill. Predatory working. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Not too bad at all. There you go. Have some of that. Where's the last guy hiding at? Oh. And I'd say that was pretty painless. Not too bad. Not too bad. And with a group, you would be done 20 seconds ago. You know what I mean? So, not too bad at all. Now up here, I do have a little bit of a trick for you. Or I guess like a little sequence of how I do things. And it really kind of helps out a little bit. I've done this, I don't know how many thousands of times, literally. But either way, I get to this wall right here. You got a shotgunner right here. You got a shotgunner down the hallway. You want to get those guys out of the way. So we're going to just take this guy out right here. Take him out. Swap over here. Take this guy out. And now right about now, someone should be running out of that door. Here he is. And just kind of get him out of the way. Now you have a grenader that should be pushing up on you. Or somebody will. Here we go. Get him out of the way. Excellent. Okay, see the grenader's throwing grenades, but he's still way back there. Alright, so we can push up. This is fine. But see how that just makes it really smooth, and you're in just one spot. And you take out a handful of them. Almost ready for the second wave. If I can find this guy. Where's he at? Are you kidding me? Alright. Now, the shotgunners are what I would say focus on first, because they do the most damage. Obviously, don't want any buckshot in your ass. You know what I mean? And these guys kind of just scatter throughout. No big deal. Headshot. Alright. Where are you at? And there it is.
Additional hostiles.
Alright, now this is when the heavy comes out. What I like to do is kind of come over here, throw a box down right here, can you pop it, get to this wall, and then face tank these guys. I got to the wall right there to get that steady hands going so I can just kind of aim right at the head. Here we go. Same thing. This guy's just a big clumsy idiot, so you can just stand here and just kind of just go for it like that. That's perfect. And if you want to, pop that box, get some extra health. There we go. Didn't really need it, but hey, I'll take it. Just keep on going with it. So far, it's been going pretty smooth. Let me see if I can pop this guy. There it is. I love making those guys explode. That's just a good time for me. All right, come on, let me. There we go. So, I mean, again, no med kits yet, nothing like that. So I'd say we're doing pretty solid for a beginner build. And again, you could use these with non-classified gear, and it will still work pretty much the same. If you need a med kit, right there, right there. If you're hurting right about now, before you open this door, there is a backpack there. It's got a med kit in it for you. And in here, we have a refrigerator that has something in it. What is it? Oh, it must be full. What is it? Oh, okay. I have a lot of consumables, but either way, that is, you know, a good way to get, you know, some water or some canned food, whatever. That's typically what it gives you. Easy peasy, guys. Alright, so, speaking of consumables, right now,
Agent, the hostage is being
well,
held
let's
on the
let
roof.
Benitez talk.
You need to clear it out.
Come on, Isaac, get your speech over too.
You are now leaving the safe area.
Yeah, I know I'm out of the safe area. Okay, anyways, we can use some consumables here. Oh, I only got one canned food? Okay. Canned food is a great one, 40% healing effect on top of predatory of 35%. You're just going to be healing like crazy, and that works out really nice. You could always go with water. That is probably one of my favorites, 20% damage to elites, and on this build I believe we have about, was it 30-something percent, I believe, of damage to elites already, so another 20%, push us over 50, that'd be pretty nice. Or I would say if you really want to, you could always go with incendiary bullets. It's not the best, but it adds fire damage to the bullets, so if you catch them on fire, you know, then they're really not a threat. They start flailing their arms around and they're not really doing anything, and you can just kind of pick them headshots. But overall, I would really say stick to the canned food and the water overall. I'm going to give you an example of the canned food right now. Let's go up here. First, what I like to do is come up here and just kind of get someone in your sights. Not necessarily the heavy. Let's see. We can, yeah, I can go over here. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Alright, so we're going to eat that canned food right now because we want to get predatory proc as soon as possible, right? So let's drop this guy. Predatory's going. Alright, now let's run up on him. Headshot, headshot, headshot. Swap weapons. Start dumping. Pop that heal. Look at that, almost full health. Woo! Not doing bad. They're lighting us up from the side there. Now we got another heavy coming, so we want to make sure we get these guys out of the way ASAP. And you see that health on a kill definitely helped us out right there. Get this guy out. That sniper too sucks. That sniper is really a bummer. You can throw a grenade at her, tell her to get away from us. And let's kind of fall back over here, I'd say. See what we can do. Get a little reload here. Oh, we got someone on the side too. Perfect. Either way, let's get this guy out of the way. Alright. Oh, grenade. Oh, we got a grenader. Alright, yeah, get you out of this picture. I don't like you. Swap weapons. Don't even reload. Just keep pushing. Alright. Reload. Where's this guy at? Let me put this down. And I'm going to actually pop that that overdose there. You see I got an overheal now. Doing pretty good. Just sitting here and kind of aiming his face as much as you can. Get to cover. Get that steady hands proc. Let's finish him off. There we go. Nice. Now that sniper is a pain. Watch for them. They really actually hit pretty hard regardless of what you're really using overall. Get out of here. Oh, there's two of them. Perfect. Got both at the same time. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Typically another one's still stuck over here. That's alright. That's alright. But as you can see, we're doing good. Not too bad at all. Talk to this guy. Alright. Let him talk to whoever he talks to. And kind of come back over here. Now, if you're on a team, obviously a lot of people are going to bunch up around the door, but if I'm solo like this, I kind of like to come over here somewhere and get a fire grenade ready. That's the best thing, I think. Shock you could always use, but fire is probably the best for me. And we're going to put it right at the base of the door. Right about there. And when they talk, it's kind of like a cue. Okay.
We've got this. Find a secure position and hunker down.
This next part.
That's
An order, Sergeant. Throw the grenade. And they're burning. Perfect. That's not bad. No, I like to focus that heavy a little bit, but either way, whatever you can do, just do a little bit of damage. Kind of pick the shots. Toss some grenades because they do hurt. I'm going to pop that heal. Man, they are... Man! Oh, pop Nomad, too. Are you kidding me? With them grenades? That's alright, though. That's what it's for. And I still have my signature. So that's the point of Nomad right there. That's why I say it's probably one of the stronger builds for someone that's just starting out in PvE. And extra health can definitely help you out. It'd be nice if the brief proc again, but that comes with the 6-piece once you get that. Oh, gonna kneel down. Alright, bud. Get out of my way.
Out here. I just heard about Ramos, Captain.
Not too bad.
Glad we
Overall,
reached you
not
in
too
time.
bad. I wish that Nomad would not have gone off, but
My people
those
are getting
grenades
into
were
position to
like...
breach the hall.
I got hit with like
Agent, you're
3 at
gonna
one
wanna
time.
unlock the maintenance access. The building blueprints show a
Alright,
security
open up the
control
door.
room down in the basement.
See how it works? Tell it what to do and stuff happens. Easy peasy, guys.
Alright, let's do this. What the hell?
You are now
All
entering the
right,
safe
so
area.
let's get some ammo back right here.
Warning. Now exiting the safe area.
I'm gonna go up here, and I like to get against this wall right here and find the shotgunners. Luckily, we got one right up front. If not, we can just literally just shoot one bullet in there, and they will come rushing at you. As soon as I start shooting this guy, the other one will appear. You watch. So either way, just kind of aim at his head a little bit. Goodbye, bud. And there's his buddy coming. Come in. Now that heavy's gonna be on his way. Just take your shots from cover. I like to take him out. You know, just wear him down. No big deal. Alright, so now it should be a little bit easier. I love when they blind themselves. Alright, so after this last guy, you got to get ready because they're going to flood out that door over there, right? So let's take this guy out.
Warning.
And what I'm going to do is actually just chuck a grenade down there. Just kind of slow him down a bit. Nice. See, he's working. Oh, oh. Pop that overdose. Hit him in the face. Health on a heal. Yeah, the health on a kill is amazing. I love it. Watch it. Here we go. Boop. Full health. Got one guy left. Where's he at? Where's he at? And now, again, they're going to come flooding out of the other door now. So, what I like to do is kind of do this and then hit that gas tank right there. That'll slow them down just for a second at least. So you can kind of pick your shots. Makes it easy. Use your environment, more or less. That's just, I guess, what I can say. It is a cover-based shooter. You gotta remember that. Where are you at? See, he's using cover. Come on. Alrighty then. Not too bad. Still no medkits. That's pretty good. I thought I'd probably use at least one. Well, we did get the Nomad pop, so that's kind of the one downfall, I guess. But we're still doing alright. I mean, still got our signature, and you know, that'll help us. But we're about to get our Nomad back anytime now. Come on, get through here. Alright. And get some ammo. Now, a lot of people will go down right here and just kind of run face tank them. I like to get a elevated position, to be honest, and with a team there will be snipers up here, so it is better if somebody at least runs up here and takes them out. But regardless, I'm going to come over here and just kind of post up right here. I'm going to Let's drink a water. Let's drink a water. How about that? And then let's see. Let's go for it. Let's see what we can do here. This guy's silly. He's just kind of standing there. Reload. Come on, come on. All right, one down. Not too bad. Go over here and get the cover. Face tank, face tank. I'd say it's pretty good. Not too bad. What do we got here? Oh, prototype what mod? I'm taking it. It's a purple mod. Take those every time you see them. Every time. Get a grenade ready. Chuck it down there. And when I'm solo, I like to take out the other guys first, more or less, or try to, before you go for Barrett, because then that second wave will come out, and it's kind of tough by yourself. It's working nice, though. Just come to me one at a time. Excellent. Who's over here? Who's over here? Oh! Oh! I popped a medkit for that. What? Blew that up. Or did I blow that up? Whatever, that was cheap. That doesn't typically happen. I don't know. I'm usually the one blowing stuff up. Either way. We're doing alright. We got our Nomad back and our signature, so it doesn't even matter. This is in the bag. Absolutely. If I could shoot her. Wow. Alright, come here. And that's it. Boss is down. We get a bunch of other people coming up here. Let's just put this box down. So we can pop that and get some health back. Yeah, this big guy's right here. If he doesn't kick it. I don't think he's going to. He's more mad at me right now, I think. Okay. Cool. Start getting low on health. Pop that box. Pop that heal. About half life back. Let's get him down. Now we got about 3/4 life back. See, that health on a kill is great. And for somebody new, I think that's crucial. I think that would really help a lot. It's definitely beneficial. Alright. Oh, so we got two. Okay. A couple more down here. No big deal. I'm kind of bummed I used that med kit, guys. I'm sorry. I used one med kit. I shouldn't have used it. It was reflex when I got blown up. But either way, we're doing alright. What is going on? This guy. Oh, he's up top now? Come on.
I'm impressed, Agent.
Not too bad.
Tricky assignment. You did
Not
what
too
had to be done.
bad.
Warning. Now entering a contaminated area.
Alright, well that looked like it worked out pretty good, not too bad. Let's go over these skills and talents really quick, and then we will go off to the gear set and take a look at that, because these skills and talents can be a little bit tricky if you might have just picked up the game. Now, as far as my first aid goes, well, first off, all of my skills are pretty much stacked for first aid, because if you go down or you can't sustain yourself, well then that's really not a good thing, right? Now, during the gameplay, I was using an overdose. This is really nice. Really, it's an argument, what is better, the booster shot or the overdose? To me, I think it's personal preference. I'd say try them both out, see what works best for you. The overdose, it says here, the device heals the target more efficiently. And you can see down there, the self-heal 112,000 hit points compared to 67,000 hit points. So that's really up to you what you want to do here. The flip side to the booster shot is that it temporarily increases damage and gives you some damage resistance. The increase of damage is 15% and the damage resistance is 7.5% on top of healing you. It's just not that super strong heal. So really, to each their own. I'd say try them out both, like I said, and see what works best for you. Now, other than that, I would recommend trying out a pulse, because this will help you get your crit chance and damage up, and that's a really big stat for this game. So overall, I would really recommend going with a recon pack pulse, because it has the lowest cooldown time and the highest crit hit chance. If you take a look here, 35.6 seconds compared to 47 seconds compared to 52 seconds, and the crit hit chance is only 15% on both of them. So really, I would recommend a recon pack. That really can't I mean, you can't go wrong with it. No, other than that, I'm going to be using an immunizer support station. This support station removes status effect and makes allies immune while within the affected area. Now, it does heal you a little bit. It's not a whole lot. You could always go with the life support just to be giving you a constant heal, but it's not that big of a difference as far as healing rate. If you look here, 3,300 compared to 3,900 hit points a second. Not a huge deal right there at all. I would really recommend going with the immunizer because a burn, a bleed, a shock, that can really mess you up a lot more, and just having a heal going is not going to take that away. You can always pop a med kit, and with the build, with the health on a kill, things like that, this is probably the best way to go. Just my opinion. Try out everything. I mean, see what works for you. You could always go with the ammo cache if you are feeling like you're running low on ammo, because again, this does still heal you a little bit, and it gives you that ammo that just never runs out. So to each their own. Again, try everything out and see what works. But I would really recommend sticking with more or less the healing skills overall, and that is why for the signature skill, I'm going to be using a recovery link. This heals and cures the user all nearby allies, so it'll help the entire team out. Instant heal is 40%, and the overheal time is 80% of your entire life. So this is a big thing. It's triggered when you are solo. It'll just automatically go off when you reach no health and just kind of revive you all the way back. Well, at least 40%, and then the rest over time is 80%, but that overtime is pretty quick. You get it back pretty fast. So overall, that's what I would say go with. You could always venture out to the survivor link and give you that damage resistance of 50% and the movement speed 30% up, so you can kind of, take that damage resistance, move away, get to some cover, heal back, so on and so forth. But overall, this is what I run with, and it's been working out really nice. So let's take a look at the talents. Alright, so the talents that I am going to be going with are Critical Save. Use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance 20% for 10 seconds. So if you're really getting lit up and you're really in a pinch there, you pop that medkit. You're not only going to get your health back, but you're also going to get that damage resistance of 20%. You can kind of fall back, get to cover, heal up, and it really works out nice. Other than that, I really recommend Precision, because this is basically like carrying a pulse in your pocket and not having it equipped. Headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds. Pretty straightforward. As long as you land one headshot, the rest of the shots after that are going to have a higher crit chance and damage, and it really works out nice. So to help you get those headshots, I recommend you try out Steady Hands. Enter any cover to reduce recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. That is an awesome thing. Probably one of my favorite talents overall, other than Precision, honestly, and it really does help land those headshots, especially when you're working with assault rifles that have that distance to them. Awesome talent, awesome talent. Now moving on to On the Move. Kill a hostile while moving to reduce incoming damage 15% for 10 seconds. So as long as you're basically standing up and you're not in cover, and even you're moving a little bit here and there, which, I mean, you're probably going to be pulling the joystick a little bit. As long as you're moving at all and you kill a hostile, 15% incoming damage buff, that is an awesome thing. Now, other than that, I would recommend trying out One is None. Headshot a hostile to have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet, so that will help you out with ammo consumption. If you want to, you can always try out Tech Support. Kill a hostile while any skill is deployed to extend any active skill's duration by 10%. So, per se, you drop your immunizer box and you take out a target. Every time you take one out, 10% longer duration for it, and it'll keep it alive a lot longer. Other than that, the final one that I would really go with, well, actually there's a couple more. Adrenaline. Medkit gives you 7 seconds of immunity from status effect. This, accompanied with the immunizer box, works out really nice. So when you pop that medkit, it gives you that 7 seconds of immunity, and it's really in a pinch. If there's flame turrets or you're getting grenaded or anything like that, this will definitely help you out a lot. Now, other than that, the final one that I would say is Strike Back here. Reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20%. So when you're in low health, you get that 20% extra cooldown on your skills, and you can get your skills back, pop that heal, whichever first aid that you have, and that'll definitely help you out there. So hopefully that helps clear up a few things. That's what I would overall recommend for beginning players. As you progress, try out other things, and again, just see what works for you. Everybody is different. So other than that, let's go on to the build itself. And here it is. So as you can see, we got a couple things going on here. Now, first thing to take note is that I'm going to be using Nomad for this build. I think that is a very safe build for a beginner or somebody that is just coming back to the game. And it's been working out really nice for me. Really can be any gear set that you want. I went with this template for a long time, way back in 1.6 or whatever, before we even had classified gear. This is what I was running with, this template right here, and it's still working out today. Now, if you don't have a Barrett vest, and you can get a Barrett vest from doing Lexington Event Center, the mission that I showed during the gameplay, and the boss there is Lorraine Barrett, and if you do it a handful of times, it could be 5 times, it could be 50 times, eventually you will get a Barrett vest, and it is really worth it once you get one, especially if you get one with good rolls. But if you don't have a Barrett vest, I would really recommend going with a vigorous chest piece. Grants overheal to all healing skills, so it allows you to get into that overheal, and especially if you are using that overdose that gives you that real big heal, this can definitely work out really nice together. But I really enjoy the Barrett vest. That's where it's at for me. Now, first, let's go over what we're going to be getting from Nomad. Since we do have the 4-piece going, we're going to be getting the 2-piece, giving us 15% health on a kill. That is awesome. Again, for new or returning players, 15% every time you put somebody down will definitely help you out. Now, the 3-piece gives you the talent Nomad's Resolve, grants a constant small amount of healing, allowing the user to regenerate all segments of health bar during combat. Now, it's not a very... They make it sound like it's a really strong heal. Not really as strong as you think. It is always constant heal, but it is a very, very small amount. That's what they should have put on there. But regardless, moving on to the 4-piece, this is where it gets interesting here. The talent path of the Nomad. When receiving fatal damage, you are instead healed to full health. Can occur once every 4 minutes. So, it is what it is. The 6-piece, you can get it multiple times, but with the 4-piece, you can only get it that once every 4 minutes. Which is still not bad, not a big deal. But regardless, that's what we're going to be getting from Nomad with the 4 pieces there. First, let's go over to the weapons and check those out, and then let's get into the specifics of all the gear pieces. Alright, so as far as weapons go, I'm going to be going with dual lightweight M4s. I really recommend trying to get a lightweight M4 that has some decent talents on it. This overall, respectively, as far as assault rifles go, could be considered the best weapon in the game, next to the LVOA-C. They are literally the same weapon. The only difference is that the recoil pattern is different. And even in real life, the M4 is the military version, military platform, and the LVOA is a civilian version that is just basically all decked out. So literally same weapon, same damage per bullet, same RPM. Either one will work out nice for you. Really recommend that. Now, other than that, I would really recommend trying out a G36 or an AK-47. Any variant of those will really work out pretty good. They have a higher per bullet damage compared to the lightweight M4, but they have a slower RPM. So really, that's up to you. Try out different things, see what works for you. I just really like my lightweight M4s because of the accuracy at a distance and the RPM that we get with it. As you can see, this weapon here is maxed out, 286 gear score. We have the assault rifle enemy armor damage there at 24%. The damage per bullet is 19.9, so basically 20,000 per bullet. The RPM is 850, and we have a pretty big mag on there. Now, as far as the talents, I didn't go with anything crazy, anything super hard to get or anything like that, because I wanted this to be realistic for somebody that's just starting out. Now, this lightweight M4 here has deadly, predatory, and ferocious. Ferocious is in the given talent at the bottom, the third talent, because it does not require you to spec for anything like it's like up here for deadly. Takes 38, 32 firearms, and as you can see, the specs that you need for predatory to be active. Down here, it's just open. No matter what you put there, it will be active. Ferocious is a great one. Damage against elite and named enemies is increased by 10%. So basically, anybody with a yellow bar above their name is going to have 10% more damage done to them. I went with predatory because, well, killing a target regenerates 35% health over 20 seconds, and with the health on a kill that we get with Nomad paired with it, works out extremely well and will definitely help keep you alive. And then we got deadly going, simply getting your crit hit damage up 15%. So when your crit hits land, they're hitting that much harder. Now, as far as the mods go, you might not be able to get all of these lined up perfect, but I would definitely try to go in this direction. The magazine that I'm going with is just a big mag, the biggest mag that I could find, so that we got as many bullets as possible, because again, we're not going too crazy as far as firearms and anything like that goes. But we got that big mag, the crit chance and damage on it. I would say at least try to go with one that has crit chance or crit damage, and then maybe rate of fire. That would work out nice too. Now, as far as the optics go, I'm going with a 5.52 hollow sight. It's got crit chance, crit damage, and headshot damage on it. Now, a lot of people will go with a C7-9 scope. That is a 3.4 zoom that has 19% crit, up to 19% crit hit damage, and then you can get chance on it and headshot damage, etc., so on and so forth. Or you could always go with a pro red dot sight that has, again, that big crit hit damage on it and some crit chance, possibly stability, so on and so forth, whatever you can get. Now, other than that, moving on to the muzzle, pretty straightforward. Crit damage, headshot damage, crit chance. If you can get those three, that is awesome. If you can just mainly get that high crit damage and any kind of crit chance, that would be awesome. But again, that headshot damage is awesome to stack as much as possible, because it scales much higher in PvE than it does in PvP. So other than that, moving on to the underbarrel here, I have grip with crit damage, stability, and some optimal range. Stability is a great thing. Again, landing those headshots, that will definitely help you out, and that optimal range will help you land them at a distance. So pretty straightforward on that. Now, my secondary weapon is, again, maxed out. We got everything going on here. We have deadly, unforgiving, and responsive. So this is my backup weapon, I guess you should say. When I'm getting low on health, unforgiving will go to work there. Missing health segments increase your damage. One missing segment's 10%, two missing segments 25% damage up. So that is huge right there. In a pinch, if you run out of ammo, you can just swap weapons, use this. If you're missing any kind of health segments, it's going to actually help you out. We got deadly up there again. Crit damage is increased 15%. And then down here we have responsive. Damage is increased 10% when closer than 10 meters to the target. So if you're getting ambushed, you're getting low on life, you can pull this thing out and usually do some pretty good damage with it. The only other thing I would say is if you wanted to swap one of these out for predatory, just as good as my primary. I just like having it on my primary, so that predatory is always going. As soon as it goes down, the next NPC I take out, it's reprocced, and we got that going again. So other than that, that is pretty much it as far as the weapons go. Let's go on to the gear set now and get into all the good stuff. Okay, so before we get into all these gear pieces here, let's take a look up at the top really quick. The firearms number is at 6242, the stamina is at 6468, and we have the electronics trailing a little bit, 2961. Don't worry about that electronics very much. Worry about that later on. I would personally say start with the 6 and 6 build, 6,000 firearms, 6,000 stamina, and go from there. You can always adjust it from there, go to a 7 and 6, or an 8 and 5, something like that. Or maybe you want to go way up in stamina and just be a tank build. To each their own, whatever you want to do. But overall, the primary firepower number, do not fixate on that too much at all. That 310,000 firepower is not very accurate at all. It does not take into account the damage to elites, things like that, the enemy armor damage. So don't really fixate on that. It can be inflated or deflated actually very quickly, and it is not accurate at all. Your toughness and your skill power, those are more accurate. Those are definitely more accurate. Your toughness is a combination of the stamina you have on each gear piece as well as the armor you have on each gear piece. So that's where you're getting your toughness number at, and your skill power is basically that's got a little trick to it. That's just basically the backpack pushing that skill power up. But don't worry about that, a whole lot. Again, electronics is something to worry about once you're kind of a little bit more grounded in the game. So let's take a look at each gear piece individually. Alright, so I am going with a Barrett bulletproof vest. Again, the only way to get this, well, at least the best way to get this, is by doing Lexington Event Center. The boss, Larae Barrett, you take her down, and there is a small chance, I believe it's about a 6% chance that you are going to get one of these. So you might have to grind it out a little bit, but once you get one, it's definitely worth it, especially if you get some good rolls with it. Now, this one right here is rolled for stamina. It's not maxed out or anything like that, but the talents on this really are what make it. No skills on cooldown increases skill power by 10%, so that is a great thing right there. And again, going with the backpack that I'm using, that's just going to help push that skill power up a little bit without actually speccing into electronics. Now, when one skill is on cooldown, as soon as you use that skill with that extra skill power, it increases the damage by 5% once it's on cooldown. So that is an awesome thing right there. You pop your booster shot as soon as it's on cooldown. Well, 5% more damage, and it might not sound like a lot, but 5% is 5%. Now, when two skills are on cooldown, it increases armor by 10%. That's a big one right there, especially for a build that is not maxed out. If you don't have your armor maxed out completely, this will definitely help push it a little bit farther, and will definitely help you out. Now, as far as the rolls on the chest piece here, I have health, enemy armor damage, and ammo capacity. I typically try to put health on there because you can get that big 16,000 roll on there, and that'll definitely help you out a lot. You can always go with skill haste instead of that enemy armor damage. Whatever you really want, but that enemy armor damage is awesome. If you can get that on there and stack that on the build, it is a great thing because, again, we're working with assault rifles that come with the standard 24% enemy armor damage on there, well, at least when you max them out. So any way you can push that enemy armor damage up higher and get rid of that armor bar is an awesome thing. And as well with the ammo capacity, the more you can get, hey, that's awesome. Now, as far as the mods go, we have 2 firearms with health mods. Again, nothing too hard to find. They're not even the best rolls, plus 245s, nothing special. But if you can get a couple of health mods on your build, that will definitely push that toughness up a lot and make you a little bit more tanky. Definitely help you out. So moving on to the mask here. It is Nomad. It is rolled for firearms. We have health on a kill and damage to elites on it. The health on a kill, I'm just trying to push the health on a kill that we are getting from Nomad. Remember, we're going to get some back from Nomad, and any way that you can exploit that and push that any farther is an awesome thing. You could always go with crit chance. You could go with enemy armor damage there, but again, I'm just going to try and push that health on a kill so that every time somebody goes down, you get that nice chunk of health back. And that damage to elites, you're going to have to typically roll off some kind of resistance, but that 12% damage to elites is a big thing. That is an amazing stat. One of the most important stats right there on a PvE build is damage to elites, because that is not a chance. It's not crit chance or anything like that. It's not enemy armor damage, only working on the armor bar. This is 12% raw damage up. Your per bullet damage against anybody that has a yellow bar is 12% higher right there. That is a big thing right there, especially when you can stack it. Now, as far as the mod that I have on this piece right here is a firearms with damage to elite mod. Again, if you can't find these in the open world very easily. They do sell them at vendors every now and again. So if you can find them, definitely buy them up. But definitely take a look. Make sure you can you're not leaving them behind in the open world. So other than that, moving on to the knee pads here, we have it rolled for stamina. We have that health roll on there. You could go with the crit damage. That's what a lot of people probably tell you to do, but I spec'd it somewhere else, and it's working out nice. But you can also get that big health roll on the knee pads, so definitely recommend that. We have burn resistance, damage to elites, and shock resistance. Again, stacking that damage to elites, so again, another 16% damage to anybody that has a yellow bar on top of the 12 that we had on the other piece. Hey, stack it wherever you can, and the purple mods, you can stack it even higher. That burn resistance, I would say, is crucial for PvE, because burn is one of the biggest things that you're going to run into. Now I have shock resistance on there because I would say that's probably the second biggest pain. You could go with bleed resistance, but bleed is typically not very strong in PvE, and shock resistance is a little bit more important. If they shock you out in the middle, and you're standing in the middle of nowhere and they're all focusing you, that's not a good time at all. So that's why I did that, and it's been working out really nice. Now, as far as the mods go, I have another firearms with damage to elite mods on there. Again, push that damage to elites, and a 6% first aid self-heal. Now, if you can't get the 6%ers, and you can get a 5%, a 5.5, whatever you can, I really recommend that, because that is first aid. So as soon as you pop your booster shot, it's going to be that much stronger. And you can stack these as well. Works out awesome. So let's take a look at the holster here. We have it maxed out here. This is one piece I would say to focus on overall. Max this out, because it has 1401 rolls across the board. Even if it's only the 1272s and it's not a classified holster, it max it out. Get that as high as possible, because that affects all three of your rolls. Not just like one piece affects firearms and one piece affects stamina. This is all three. Now, this is rolled for crit chance, and we have a 6% first aid self-heal on there. So right there, those two mods, it's 12% up. Not too bad. Now, the gloves right here, we have them rolled for firearms with assault rifle damage, crit damage, and crit chance. Now, that crit chance you could swap out for enemy armor damage, to each their own. I'd like to have a little bit of crit chance on my build, and then spec the enemy armor damage, elsewhere. But to each their own. Try out different things and see what works for you. Now, the backpack right here. This is the backpack I would highly recommend anybody new or returning, even someone that's only working with a couple classified pieces. Specialized is awesome. We have this one here rolled for stamina, and it adds 200% of firearms and stamina to your skill power. So it's going off of your firearms and stamina number, and it's going to take a percentage of that and put it on top of your skill power. So without speccing into electronics, you're pushing your skill power higher, making your skills that much stronger. And we have this here rolled for crit damage with ammo capacity, so that is where I got that extra little bit of crit damage. You could go with health here as well, but again, to each their own. Stability is also a pretty good one. Definitely try that out, because that'll, again, the more stable you are, the more headshots you're landing, and overall doing better. And on here, I actually have a firearms with crit chance mod. I just put this on here because I ran out of purple mods. But overall, these are pretty good mods as well. If you want to, stack a little bit more crit chance, you can have all crit chance mods if you can find them all, and or if you can even craft them. That'll definitely help you out. 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you stack it, it works out nice. And we got those two more 6% first aid self-heal mods. So again, when I hit that booster shot, it's going to be doing that much more. Or the overdose, whatever I'm going to be going with. So that's about it, guys. That's the build overall in a whole. Now, if you do not have a Barrett vest, like I was saying before, you could always go with that vigorous chest. I would highly recommend that. Grants overheal to all healing skills, so especially if you are going to be using that overdose, that gives you that big chunk of a heal back. definitely try out that vigorous chest. Now, per se, if you maybe you have a classified chest piece and you're like, well, I don't want either of those. Okay, not a problem. I would say go with some Savage gloves. Crit hit chance is increased by 7% against targets out of cover. And, I mean, pretty straightforward right there. That is awesome. So that's what I would recommend with that. Overall, I would really say try to get the mask, the knee pads, and the holster. The specialized backpack, you get those a dime a dozen. They drop all the time. And if you can push to get that Barrett vest, it'll definitely help you out. If not, go with Vigorous, and that'll really help you out as well. So let's go on to the character sheet and see all of the specifics as far as the numbers go. Alright, so here we go. Now, I know I'm talking a lot, so we're going to get through this as quick as possible. Just to recap, firearms 6242, stamina is at 6468, the electronics at 2900, nothing crazy, but the weapon damage here, the per bullet damage is 19,900, so again, almost 20,000, not too bad. The crit hit chance is 23%, but again, with that talent precision, when you headshot a hostile to pulse them, that's going to go up, as well as your crit hit damage. At 111%, it's going to be going up even higher than that. And the crit hit damage, what I typically tell people is if you can break 100%, that is all you really need to focus on. After that, it's all extra, but focus on breaking that 100%, because when your crit hit lands, when you have that chance of it landing, when it does land, it's going to hit 100% harder, which is actually double damage of your per bullet that is coming out. So that's a big thing right there. And then when you have the headshot damage, like I said, if you stack that a little bit, assault rifles come with the standard 75%, and if you can push that up to 87% like we got right here, 87% on top of a crit hit to the face, as you can see, we're going to be doing a lot of damage. So other than that, moving on, we got a little bit of stability. Our range is pretty good. Again, wherever you can put that optimal range will definitely help you out. We got 29 meters. That's actually pretty far. The reload time, nothing crazy, 2.9 seconds. We have the assault rifle damage up of 12% from the gloves. Moving on to the damage to elites of 44%. So like I was saying, our per bullet damage is 19,900 per bullet, 44% higher as soon as you're shooting at somebody that has a yellow bar. That is an amazing thing to have right there. Absolutely amazing. Now, as far as the health on a kill, we got that up to 20%. You could get that a little bit higher if you spec it for, on another gear piece, something like that. Get to 25, 30%, whatever you can do. But I felt pretty comfortable at 20%, and it's been doing all right. Now, as far as the enemy armor damage, nothing super crazy at all, but it's still helping out a lot, 29.5%. So basically 30% of their armor bar is just gone, you don't got to worry about it, and that will definitely help take them down a lot quicker. Now, as far as the skills go, the skill power is 125,000, which is actually really nice. Typically you would be at about 88,000 if you took that backpack off and put anything else on overall, unless it was rolled for electronics, of course, but still, it is what it is. That's very strong skill power for a very basic build, and that's actually right at the skill power soft cap. This is right when your skills actually really start to take off, and it is what it is. Definitely an awesome backpack. I really highly recommend that. Now, moving on to the toughness and max health. As you can see, like I was saying before, toughness is a combination of max health and armor, 502,000 hit points, and our max health is 343,000. That's actually pretty good. Typically, I try to shoot for about 3.25, but on this one, we're almost at 350, so we're doing really nice here. The armor, try to max that out, as much as possible. That'll definitely help you out. Mitigates 31.6% weapon damage incoming for me right now, and the higher you can push that, the better. The cap is 33.5%, so that's a maxed out build right there. So either way, we're working on it. It's a work in progress. The health regen 17,100, so we're doing all right there. moving on to, we have the burn resistance at 33%, and we have shock resistance at 33%. Again, I wish I could get burn, shock, and then some bleed resistance. That would have been ideal. Those are the top 3 that I worry about. If you can get some exotic damage resilience on top, that would be really nice. Put a little bit of that on the chest piece, and then work for the resistance on your knee pads and your mask, and kind of go from there. But overall, this is what I've been working with, and as you can see, it's working. It was working pretty good overall. So I really hope you took something away from that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I have every single build on the game. I have done a video for every single build on the game, if not multiple builds. So definitely check out the channel if you're looking for something specific. And as always, if you enjoy it or find these videos helpful, definitely smash that like button, subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel. And again, if you are a veteran or you have any questions, go ahead and drop a comment down there. Or if, like I said, if you're a vet, drop some knowledge for these kids if I missed anything out. So other than that, you guys take it easy. I will see you next time. Later.